And welcome to episode 10 of Drinking with the Boys. Me and Corey were just arguing about what episode we were on, and apparently we're behind a week because we skipped a week. We had a great Thanksgiving with all of our family, and we're back at our new Two Brothers Bar and Grill. It's kind of becoming our new hangout spot, it seems, 2 weeks in a row, Corey.
Was it?
It's 2 weeks in a row that we've been at Two Brothers Bar and Grill.
So 2 out of 3 weeks, but 2 weeks in a row for the podcast, yeah?
Right.
That last one was real ugly. That was the Atlanta Falcons
That was
game.
that Falcons one.
And now that was the start of something bad, Chase.
Right.
Ooh.
How was the Thanksgiving, though?
Dude, Thanksgiving was good.
The Lloyd?
You know, the infamous.
The infamous Lloyd. If you want to know about Lloyd, Lloyd made
Lloyd
a brief
Stevens.
appearance during the
like
Sirens
episode
episode
17
of Cold Beers and Curveballs, which is also another podcast that you should check out.
Go on soundcloud.com/Cold Beers and Curveballs.
It's also on iTunes, just like this show.
That's my dad's name. He don't listen to this podcast. He'd probably disown me even more if he did. No.
Right.
Everything was good. Everything was good. Thanksgiving was good. The food was good. I showed up in time. It was hot and fresh. I thought I was going to get off work too late for everything. The desserts were good. We had like tres leches cake because there's some Hispanics around. It was good times. And
There were
and
Mexicans at the first Thanksgiving?
No, at my Thanksgiving a couple days ago.
Oh, I got you.
So, no, like there were some people who I thought I was going to have to cut, and I didn't have to fight them.
That's good.
Yeah, there were some mutts. There were some cute little dogs around.
Awesome.
It was all good. Problem is, so what went down on Friday night is my brother plays for a pretty good team in Louisiana Barber High School. They went up and tried to play West Monroe High School for Louisiana State Championship playoffs, and if they had won, they would have been in the Final Four.
Right.
For 5A football.
So I'm assuming they didn't.
Nah, I mean, they got out to a 10-0 lead. It was looking great.
Then that second half came around.
It wasn't
Jason
even
Garrett's
second
on the
half.
sideline.
It wasn't even the
Barber.
second half. It started in the second quarter, and it just got bad and never turned around.
Dude, it happens, man. No,
Yeah.
Thursday. It's my first Thanksgiving with my kid,
Yeah, there you go.
and so we went.
It's funny how that works when
Right.
you have like a newborn, right?
Right. So we went to my lady's family's house, and we were in charge of bringing a turkey, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll pay $55 at Dickey's and take a turkey," which would have been cool because her grandpa had made a ham or something with ham.
Right.
I don't know.
Those
Living
honey
the
baked
kosher-
hams are always the best.
Right, living the kosher life, and
Ham is the kosher life?
no, I'm living the kosher life, so I didn't give two shits about this ham story. But basically what happened was we thought, there's going to be like 15, 16 people. That's going to be cool. No, there was 31 people there. So
you didn't get a big enough turkey.
I didn't get
Ooh.
hardly any turkey.
Yeah. We cleaned that
So-
turkey out when we only had 8 people. And
Dude.
we cleaned a turkey out.
Turkey is great.
It goes fast.
I love it.
Nah,
You know who didn't love Thanksgiving, though?
it was at the Indians.
The Cowboys. They didn't love the Indian. The Cowboys didn't love Thanksgiving, and either did the Lions. They are now 0-5 in the last 5 Thanksgiving games for the Lions.
Look, who talks about the Lions anyways?
Every once in a while, we get a little hyped about Matt Stafford.
Like, we play them in the playoffs. Like, whatever.
Right.
Things happen. The Lions are the Lions, but they're nothing.
Cowboys going for their second blowout loss.
Man, 3 straight, dude.
3 straight games that look like a game.
I think we scored about 20 points. No, we scored like 17 points in all of the second halves for 3 straight games.
Right.
That's a game and a half.
Right. I know when they scored
It's
that
been
touchdown.
terrible.
They scored the touchdown. I believe the statistic that was thrown out was it had been 152 minutes.
Right, well, we went 10 quarters without a touchdown, and that
Right.
was the longest Cowboys streak ever.
Right.
So this is a problem, like, okay, people want to talk about Cowboys fans being like a, man, Cowboys fans, they can never be happy with anything. They complain about everything. Even if they're good, they're complaining. If they're bad, they think the sky is falling. If they're good, they think they're about to go to the Super Bowl, even though they suck, actually, and they just barely won a game. Like, people talk about Cowboys fans.
We are a bipolar people.
I get it, and there's a lot of coverage here.
Right.
I mean, it's a big city, and Jerry Jones has turned the Cowboys into like a thing, into like the world's biggest sports franchise.
It's
I mean, it's a big deal.
Right.
So, and we have a lot of coverage for a huge following of Cowboys fans, and in the NFL, we're the number one team in the number one sport. But so it's not just fake news. It's just not just oh, we're whining too much because we had a bad 3 games. Like a 3-game losing streak doesn't ruin everything. It doesn't ruin your year.
It gets pretty damn close though.
But the reason it's looking so bad and the reason we're reacting like we are as Cowboys Nation is that we can't score, and our second half we actually literally can't score. We're not scoring touchdowns. We're not moving the ball. We're giving up. Yeah, it's real ugly. It's not just like, oh crap, by chance.
Right.
We happen to have a 3-game losing streak because you can look at like the Broncos and the Chiefs and the Giants. They're all having bad stretches, right?
Right.
And I'm sure that their local sports media, it's not as big over. We're talking Kansas City or Denver, but yeah, I'm sure they're panicking too. But, like, at least they had some good stuff, and they still have, like, solid pieces, and they believe in their coaches. I mean, in Denver, he's a rookie coach, but, we're not going to write him off.
Well, and I think that's one thing that, it's finally, I think with the way that this is going is you can't sit here and say it's Dak's fault. You can't say it's Dez's fault. You can't say anything, because if you look at it.
Our neighbor at the bar was sure as hell saying it was Dak and Dez's fault.
Right, yeah, well.
We're gonna skip back to that.
Yeah, we're gonna get off that subject because I'll end up saying something stupid. But and I don't even have alcohol in me to excuse it. So, but the thing with it is, I think finally we're seeing a trend in Dallas where we're starting to look at where the problem lies. You can't sit here as Jerry Jones and be like, I have good faith in Jason Garrett after I've coached 3 blowout losses. You can't sit there and say that, because the team that's on the field for the first 30 minutes is not the team on the field in the second 30 minutes.
No, and
that's the problem.
The thing, right? Exactly. And so, like, so many,
But
I
people that are close to the
I'm going to get back to this. I feel like this is going to be the chunk of our show. And I want to make it like the entirety of the show, and I want to get to some other stuff, but we're going to get wrapped up in the entire show.
But here's the thing that I'm trying to...
He wants to establish the Cowboys as a score-first, run, win the game football team. And it worked pretty damn good last year.
It did, because nobody knew what to see. So,
well, I know,
but now...
we had a healthy offensive line.
Right.
The 2 guys that we lost, our left guard and our right tackle, they were better.
Right.
Even though they weren't the stars, but they were better than what we got now.
Same thing going on the defense with the secondary.
Yeah, the secondary, those veteran guys, they helped out, guys like Anthony Brown. But we had mojo. Dak is question marks. So what's wrong is but he's not reacting to the real life situation.
Where it's like, we're going to play our game, we're going to go out there, we're going to do this. That's great.
That's his mumbo jumbo.
Right. If you are a run heavy team and you've got players,
it's gotta work.
Right. So if you think about it, the way that they were working on Zeke, and Zeke was still having these breakout games, is they were putting everybody in the box.
Yeah.
Shutting the run down. The problem was Zeke's good on the outside.
Yeah.
So you had that. You also didn't have people double covering Cole Beasley.
Right.
You don't have
people
those
are commenting.
situations.
People are figuring out on the film that teams have reacted to Cole Beasley because that was such an effective way to move the chains.
Right. So you have 30 minutes of mediocre football played by the Cowboys where they are scoring points. They're getting these little breakout plays that are, putting 30 yards.
But then they come out in the second half, exactly.
Right. And they're doing the same thing.
And the other team's getting the ball first.
Yep.
And they're responding.
Right.
And they're making changes.
Right.
And they're just running all over us.
Right. And the Cowboys aren't doing a damn thing different than they did in the first half.
No, exactly.
They're not adjusting to it because the theory of play your game is that we're just going to do the same play calling that we did in the first half. There's a difference where you can add things in and mix it up. That's why you have coaches like Andy Reid and Bill Belichick who can diagnose an issue in the first half or the second half and say, hey, all right, they're catching on here. We're gonna lull them to sleep and then use the passing game.
Yeah, and so if you're in a locker room, these position coaches in every single all three levels of football, they are finding things. Even if they're winning, they're finding little weaknesses, and they're saying, hey, all right, it's simple things like make the splits in the line 6 inches wider, or whatever. If the tackle's not getting to somebody on the defensive end, like all these little things. Even if you're winning, they're making these tiny little adjustments. It doesn't have to be a big thing that we can even see on film necessarily, but they're making these adjustments. So, like, if you're winning, you better be. It's this weird. It's like if you're going to go into the first half winning and playing well, you need to have a skill set advantage to keep pounding that. As in, like, somebody's going to adjust to you, and you need to keep being able to pound that and then have the clear solution.
Right.
As in, like, oh, look, suddenly our first few drives of the third quarter, they stopped our run, so boom, and then we have a few successful play-action passes. Like, it's like the tactical advantage is for those people who are down by 7 in the second half.
Right.
And they're making bigger changes, and they're coming out more aggressive. And so it's like we've got this mindset still of like, let's take the lead, let's pound it, let's win from start to finish. But we're not getting that win, and we're not coming in with the right mindset to the second half.
Well, and you've got players
because we're not coming down 14 points in the second half.
Right.
And that's what mindset we need to have.
Well, and
it's like I want to see Jason Garrett. I want to see what would happen if we could go in like that, and if they actually have a sense of urgency or something, or if they actually can't do anything because the players just aren't there this year.
Man, it seems like they've got the injuries to deal with, especially on the offensive line, where you're just letting people through the left side.
Offensive line, it's serious stuff. So
you've got that going on, but you've also got where I feel like looking at the schemes, looking at what they're doing on the field, they're not utilizing players to their advantage. And it's kind of one of those things to where I think even just sticking a player like Cole Beasley out there to decoy, to get something open for somebody else, may be something that we could do to work on. Because it seems like every time you put those guys out there, they're going to cover. But Dez hasn't even been effective enough this year to where they're even really double teaming.
And see, the thing is, I'm seeing some of this stuff on Twitter, like a little bit of film that people are sharing, and it's like a lot of it just does come down to little inaccuracies, like when what should be just like a hook route or a kind of a fade, and it should be kind of a back shoulder, and you're not getting that accuracy, and so the turnaround's happening, but then it's not right, and so it's just it's a game of inches, right? Yeah. And so it's coming down to like, hey, he is single covered, and hey, we are getting him the ball, and he is feeling involved. We're talking about Dez here, but it's like, we're 1 foot off, and the timing's not there, and the cohesion, and that's what moves the chains right there. And it's like, and then like there's so many glimpses of success. Like you've got they got these option plays that are going for touchdowns, and then they're getting called back.
Right.
It's like
there's a lot of penalties, bad fucking.
And we
penalties.
can talk about penalties for the next 30 minutes. And it's like, but we're.
What I want to talk about? I want to talk about Chris fucking Jones putting punts in there, in the 20. He has the best
the brand
percentage.
Yes, he does
for punters all time. Beats Pat McAfee.
You know who had a good punter a few years ago? The Cowboys, actually. Remember that Australian guy?
Yeah.
Like, man.
Dude, Australian. Dude, there's a documentary out there about Australian punters. Like, they've got guys over there just that's all they're doing.
Do you remember? He was good though.
Yeah.
We had a good
dude. Chris Jones. Jones
gotten spoiled in Dallas for good punters.
I'm watching Jones put them down on the 3-yard line, 5-yard line on some punting situations. But here's the fucking thing: you got a secondary that isn't going to stop it. Doesn't matter where Jones puts the punt because we're going to go 3 and out at least 60% of the time, it seems, for the next, 4 games till Zeke's back, till we can do something because everybody knows Alfred Morris can't run. That's what everybody keeps saying. I mean, so last year, which is a good time to talk about it because this year I'm doing things a little differently. But last year I had Alfred Morris as one of my running backs.
Yeah.
And the reason that I did was he was the goal line guy. He was scoring me my touchdowns. That's kind of how it was. But Draft.com, I don't have to worry about that because if I see that he's not really doing that great, I don't have to worry about it because it's a snake draft. And you have an 80% chance of winning more. So draft.com/DWTB for Drinking with the Boys. You deposit money in. You know what we're going to do? We're going to give you a free game. Corey is all about the free games. Corey, what is the one that you play?
I look it up. Hold on.
It's the Magic or something like that? Or
I mean, they don't have a salary cap. It's pick whoever you want.
Right,
That's the whole point.
Yeah, so you can pick whatever players you want.
It's like, Dream Team. Dream Team.
Yeah. So Corey loves to play Dream Team. So with Dream Team, if Corey wants to pick, Tom Brady, which everybody wants to pick Tom Brady, everybody can have Tom Brady in this draft. So when you do that, there's different players that you can pick that may make or break you in that draft. But the drafts are small. You have small people in. It's 2 to 5 people head-to-heads and things like that.
Totally.
So very small drafts. But give it a try. And if you don't like it, they'll refund you up to $100. So you really have no risk. So draft.com/DWTB. Sign up. Deposit some money. Start playing. I mean, you can deposit $5-10 and you can have yourself a decent weekend. I don't think, Corey, have you lost money?
No, not much. Oh, Matt McBride. Remember him? That's who I was trying to think about.
Matt McBride. So after our draft.com commercial, Matt McBride.
Yeah, you're not going to be drafting no punters in draft.com.
God, I wish we could.
That was the Cowboys punter for a while, and he was a stud. I don't know what happened to him, but all of a sudden Chris Jones came on or something, beat him.
Chris Jones just laid somebody out last year, and now he's a beast.
Hey, there you go.
It was a good time.
No, we're going to... Draft.com's been good, and every time I check them out, it's fun. It's so simple. It's so fast. And like I said, you can either find ones with small leagues or big leagues for different amounts of money. You can do, all the way down to $1 or $2, or you can go for $10 or $20 and actually have a real big payout.
Corey accidentally clicked on one of them $200 ones the other day.
There you go. Ooh.
Nicole was a little upset. But we are at Two Brothers Bar and Grill, and it seems kind of like it might be the place to hang out.
It's a happening place on Sunday nights.
They've got
there's a pretty good crowd.
Last week they had a good Cowboys crowd. We may be jumping in on that one.
Yeah, for sure. So we want to get you a little bit around the NFL. Just a real quick look
Patriots
and give you
won.
some perspective. Patriots won, like real old news.
Browns lost.
Browns
are officially eliminated from playoff contention.
Finally, they are.
They're finally eliminated from playoff contention.
Good Lord. ESPN is quoting Reddit users like left and right.
Dude.
Oh, look, there's one. No.
ESPN, for just a second,
Sports Center.
ESPN has become nothing but a fucking joke. Like, they got rid of Mike and Mike in the morning, so now they're going to break up the mics, and it's going to be a stupid
Golick
show.
and Cannell? Is that what it is now?
It's something. And then Golick's son's going to be on there for an hour a day. But no, it's cool. Like I think it's hilarious because we are big fans of Barstool Sports, and they had the show Pardon My Take that was supposed to get like a cease and desist from them, and then they started to do this whole oh shit, we don't know what we're doing. So they decided to hire Pardon My Take and put them on, and they were on for one episode. They got one full episode in.
And they had some politically correct bullshit
some
drama.
girl. What was the name of the girl?
Oh, Brittany McCaffrey or something generic like that.
Well, I can't remember her name, but she was called a slut.
Taylor.
No, it wasn't Taylor.
Was it a Taylor?
Something Sam or something.
Sam McDuffie or something
I
silly
don't know.
like that.
Lizzie McGuire. But some girl that they were just like, they made the comment that they were just used to get guys hard, and she was a slut or whatever. Well, they started getting backlash on it. They release one episode and then it's done. But it's like ESPN is becoming such a fucking joke. Like, I love every second. I love getting the update on Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
These ESPN people will no longer be with ESPN. It's like, when are we going to get the update? ESPN will no longer be ESPN.
I think the sports talk radio,
and Stephen A.
world
Smith
is so segmented these days.
You, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
When are they getting rid of that guy?
Right?
Get him on this show.
He draws the ratings.
He draws ratings for what? I guess for people like me.
Yeah, for idiots who want to watch him fail. I don't know. ESPN, like the sports radio, everything about media these days is so segmented. The leaders aren't the leaders anymore. People want to go to find their niche.
Right. It's alternatives.
They don't have to just go to ESPN. And if ESPN just if it's too formulaic, if it's stupid, stupid broadcasting, if it's stupid programming, then people are just going to leave and never come back. So
right.
They're messing with smart boards over here, doing their draft talk, and trying to twirl these players' names and faces and pictures around, and the guys are like, well, hey, I'm getting paid good to stand in a suit up here, but it's just not what sports talk radio used to be, or sports broadcasting.
Well, the Randy Galloways of the world are gone.
Right, it's true. It's all glitz and glamour these days. It's kind of weird.
It's a weird thing because a lot of your Fox Sports, they're going completely video. People are losing things, and it's causing these guys that do all this great journalism and work to have to go and find new places to do it because the world has become so, people don't read anymore. Like it's funny because people will look at me and be like, Chase, you're obsessed with your phone. Like, you're constantly on your phone. But
you're reading a whole damn book.
Yeah. I'm reading a whole
every day, basically.
I'm reading articles all day long.
Right.
That's all I do. And I mean, my girlfriend's the worst to be on my ass about. You're always on your phone. But if you look at what I'm on my news app. I'm on,
totally.
I'm gaining knowledge.
Yeah.
But because it's not in a newspaper, I believe it's Tim Kirchin that's cut out every box score for 25 years out of the newspaper. There isn't that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. Once again, it's going back to oversaturation.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's right now is not oversaturated is the win column for the Cowboys.
Nah. No. Let's get to that in 1 second. They're 5-6, but right now what I'm looking at is Green Bay with freaking Brett Hundley actually putting up a fight against the Steelers. The Packers' season has gone off the rails. Steelers are still a pretty good damn team, and
Roethlisberger's getting up some interceptions.
He's
tonight.
not his old self, but they got playmakers, and they're not Oh, look at that!
Is he not?
We got
it's a foot race.
We got a touchdown.
And
That's
he's
a touchdown,
in.
Packers.
So, is Roethlisberger not his old self, or is Roethlisberger his old self? Is Roethlisberger old, or is he his old self?
Yeah, no. It seems like he. I feel like if you're gonna find holes in the defense, holes in the Steelers, it's
it's not Antonio Brown.
No, and he's good.
He's really good.
Yeah, no, it's still stuff the defense being inconsistent because they're young or something. It's things like Roethlisberger kind of getting old. But no, they're still a really good team. But right now, the Packers have a lead on them.
Let's talk about something here real quick. I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
It's around the NFL.
Okay.
So, as many of you guys know, I try to have at least one team in each conference to go for.
You got one team in every state?
Pretty much. So I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
By far, Cowboys fan. But also being a Pats fan. I got an interesting article, and I thought it was really funny because it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier off the air where, these coaches are worth, a quarterback. Some of the highest paid coaches are paid $8 million while you got, Jay Cutler and Eli Manning making $15 million. But Matt Patricia has done so much to turn that defense around. And you don't hear anything about that. What you hear about
People
is
were ragging on him
what
for
is
weeks
built,
and weeks.
right? And it turned around and so while it was down, it was Matt Patricia's problem. But now that it's up, all Belichick.
Look, I mean, I don't think anybody cares over there who gets
Right.
the credit or blame because they know they're the Patriots and they know that the first 4 games don't mean shit.
Right.
And
But
they're going
it
to win their
makes me-
7 straight, and they're going to get in the playoffs, and they're going to win the division just like they do every year. And, like, man,
But
they're
it makes
looking
me
good
think-
again. And it's like, it's anybody. Can anybody beat the Patriots again? I was telling you about it weeks ago. This random bullshit about the Patriots off to a bad start. Oh no, they lost. They're 1-2 or something. Whatever it was.
Right.
I'm like, no,
No, it doesn't matter.
it's the Patriots, and they have it's all that value of coaching. We're gonna get to that in just 1 second. All right. We got big news from today. Okay, I want to just misdirect for 1 second and hop back on the NFL. Big news from today. Kevin Sumlin was fired at A&M. He's been there for 5 years.
right.
He had a pretty good run with Johnny Manziel.
He had a run with
And
Johnny
then-
Manziel.
Someone pointed out, since Johnny Manziel, he's only won like 13 SEC games or
Right.
something, in 4 years or something. So
Right.
it's not. It's been a lot of ups and downs. The classic Aggie thing is, we have a good start and we have a terrible, terrible finish. And that's the whole, feeds into battered Aggie syndrome. Some people know what I'm talking about. But then, like this year, we started out super bad. He was already on the hot seat, and then we lost to UCLA. Had one of the worst second halves ever.
Right.
Well, I mean, he hasn't been able to been able to survive the season. In Arkansas, the coach Brett Bielema is out. Florida fired their coach a while back.
Tennessee.
This season, though. Tennessee fired Butch Jones.
Did you say Bitch Jones?
Butch Jones?
Oh, I thought you said
That's his
bitch.
name.
Bitch. I thought
Butch
you said it with an I,
Sumlin's
not
out.
a ooh.
So we got a lot of changes going on in college football. Also, so for myself personally, I'm kind of cheering for Chad Morris. I feel like he's a good coach at SMU, and he could use an upgrade, and we can see what's up.
You know who I'll be surprised if they're around next season, staying in this Texas area? Cliff Kingsbury.
Dude, yeah.
I think Kingsbury's out.
I
mean, I know-
just upset.
Huh?
Tech just beat somebody. Who just came to? Somebody just came to. Oh, was it Oklahoma State? Because they've had a good year.
They haven't. Who?
But then I feel like somebody just went out to
Did
Lubbock
they
and
just-
lost absolutely for no reason. Was
They.
it Texas? It was Texas.
Yeah.
Texas went out to
But
and that
I
was
don't
like the
see
highlight
Kingsbury.
win of
Right.
Tech's year. But no, Kingsbury's not doing so great.
He'll be a good offensive coordinator, but I don't see him being a D1 quality.
Great. I mean, he
coach.
was. He
He
proved
was
himself
great.
as
He
a
can
great
develop.
offensive
He can
coordinator.
develop a quarterback like nobody's business.
No, we got people talking about Jimbo Fisher coming to A&M. People talking about Mike Gundy even trying to steal him away and get him to the SEC. I don't know, but I would love that too because he's got the mullet and that's fun.
What about Tony Dungy?
He's happy in his booth. He's
There
happy in
was
the
people
booth.
That, there were guys
He's
there
happy
for
in the
a while.
TV booth, and you know who else is happy in the TV booth? Tony Romo,
Anthony
We're-
Romo.
Antonio Ramiro Romo. So that's it for college football news. Bama was upset.
Oh, hey.
College football. We're going to get into it one day because a couple weeks from now, there's going to be, we can devote
Can I
an
just say one
extra
thing?
show.
Can I just say one thing? Boomer.
Boomer Sooner.
I'm Boomer Sooner all
They're
day.
pretty damn good.
I was
a week or two
I
from
was
now.
pissing crimson, but it turns out that was actually kidney infection.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Case.
I thought I was like, man, I love Boomer Sooner so much.
The whole college football playoff selection show. We might do some extra content there. It's going to be good stuff, but we're an NFL show, so we're going to finally dive back in.
Are we sponsored by the NFL? I don't
The
think Roger
teams
Goodell.
that were pretty good, huh?
I don't think Roger Goodell would sponsor us, would he?
No, he hates us and we hate him.
Yeah, Roger Goodell also getting backed off by Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones.
I think Jerry Jones finally realizing, man, I got way too much shit going on with him and Papa John. But now my team's suffering, so Papa John, apologize.
He was
I'm going to
like,
back
"All
off
right,
Goodell.
No lawsuit. We're going to focus on the team.
Right.
No, everyone who was had a winning record won in the NFC this week. Teams if the Cowboys have some like miraculous turnaround and they had some tiny whiff of a playoff chance, we need teams like Seattle to lose, Falcons to lose. We'd need teams like the Saints and the Rams, whatever's more advantageous for them to lose. None of that happened. Eagles keep winning. Falcons won. Packers are doing fine. You know, like there's no playoffs chances in it, and even then, we don't want to be in the playoffs because that was just like that would just be some kind of crazy miracle. Oh, look, Jason Garrett turned it around. No, we need to turn this around.
So
At the top.
Are you saying tank?
We start with a leadership problem. We need a change in leadership. Yeah.
We do. I think
so,
also.
Yes, I'm saying tank because I'm saying the playoffs don't matter if you're the 8th seed and you're about to go against the Cavs and the Warriors, right? We're talking, switching it up, giving a little NBA metaphor. The playoffs don't matter if you're the 8th seed. We don't need to be the second wild card seed by some miracle and then get our butt kicked again.
Here's the thing.
We need a better draft pick. We need to have some real perspective on the offseason.
I think we need to get younger. We got a defensive coordinator who has the mindset, it worked in NAM, it will work today.
I think Rod Marinelli's about 74 years old, maybe.
I think you need to add another 10 years onto that because he looks like he's about 9. Like the other day, I could have sworn that they showed him on there. He was like, "Where am I?"
We got Linehan, who, man, I feel like, there's just not. Okay, I was driving over here.
I feel like a few years ago.
Yeah, what's
we
up?
got Linehan, right?
I know and that was the whole thing is Jason Garrett wanted his guy to call the plays and blah blah blah.
Right, but maybe this was all a scheme by Jerry Jones to keep Jason Garrett where Jason Garrett is. If we have enough fuck up going on, it can't be if Garrett's not being the play caller. How can we blame Garrett for the play?
Right.
So is it kind of one of those things where it's like, because before they got Linehan, people were on Garrett's case because the play call looks stupid.
And then what are you going to focus on? You're going to focus on like team attitude and you're going to focus on game management. Well, he sure as hell don't manage games correctly. We've known that.
I'll tell you what.
It's not been an issue this year because we haven't even had close games in the fourth quarter.
If ESPN 5 does Jimmy Johnson's coaches camp, Jason Garrett better be the first person on there. Because if he's going to be a team manager and manage the game and manage the game clock and the flow and things, he definitely needs to take a page from Jimmy because Jimmy was good at that.
Yeah.
Jimmy loved managing. Parcells liked managing. Parcells' problem was he was managed by another person. Parcells ain't going to be no one's bitch, but he was someone's bitch for a few years.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
He didn't like that at all. He got out of there.
We got the Packers just got an interception. The Packers are looking like they're going to win this. Okay, look, I was thinking about this on the way. Okay, so what did Jason Garrett's been here for 5 or 6 years, right? Okay, his first 3 seasons. What was his record?
Jason
Garrett's record for the first 3 years with the Cowboys, 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, right?
8-8 in the morning.
I mean, I think they had one good year. He came over like he was either the first full year or it was his half year that he took over for Wade Phillips.
Right.
And they were like 10-6 and whatever.
Well, look at Wade Phillips these days.
Yeah, he's a good defensive coordinator.
Right.
Can we have him back?
Yeah, can we get him back?
That'd be all right.
Will he come back, though? I mean...
I don't know. Maybe...
and that's the thing is everybody's going on about how Garrett's job is safe because all you hear about is Jerry Jones saying like, oh, I love him, I love him, I love him. Wade Phillips...
He loved Wade Phillips,
too. He loved Wade Phillips till the day he fired him.
That's right. Looks like we listened to the same segment.
Looks like we're... I mean, but the thing is it's true, though.
No, it is true. And, what people say don't matter until... the moment when they're like, look, this is untenable anymore.
Corey and I have both been managers at a place. And I think
you're like, hey, look, you're doing okay. And sometimes it's just bullshit because the person isn't responding to anything.
But
you just have to put on a pretty face.
But I mean, you think about it. People are going on about how Jerry Jones is, oh, if Jerry can make the news, then Jerry won. Jerry doesn't care about Jerry cares about the team. Jerry cares about winning.
Yeah.
People, even Tony Romo was saying that Jerry Jones, though we may not understand or we may not see it, Jerry Jones in his mind is doing what he feels is best for the league and for his team.
Yeah.
That was said on Thanksgiving. But people read into that whole thing in that segment that you were talking about that we heard where, they talked about how much he loved Wade Phillips till the day he fired him. I feel like looking through mine and Corey's, career history as being in charge of employees and things like that, there were employees that we really, 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 really liked. Employees that we would almost call friends before we would call employees, and we've had to let those people go because their ability on the field, their ability in the job wasn't being done. And so that's why I think we shouldn't be shocked if we see a change in leadership in the Cowboys next season.
No, the talk is good. We're just we're trying to just promote unity. We're just trying to see what's up. There's no use. There's nothing to be gained.
You don't
from the
want
ownership to be rocking the boat.
You don't want a New York Giants situation.
So he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. And then we're, hey, if it proves that it's not okay, then he's going to pull the plug. Okay, so I think the Cowboys fans, if anybody is unsure, don't worry. Look, Jerry Jones, he meddles in a lot of things, but most of the decisions do come down to Stephen and Will McClay. And so, it's not like the team is all in Jerry Jones's hands. But, he does get to be the figurehead.
Backed off. He has backed off in recent years.
He gets to be the figurehead, and that's cool. Look, okay, Jason Garrett, after his 3 average years, he had one really bad year. And what happened in that really bad year? We were 4-12, right? Well, Everybody was like, well, yeah, but Tony Romo and Sean Lee, or it was either Tony Romo and Orlando Scandrick, or whatever it was devastating injuries that year. And so we had Brandon Weeden out there, and we had Darren McFadden, and we had all this stuff. And we were like, well, oh, shit,
Right.
We got to do a good draft pick. We got some energy. We got Zeke going in, ready. And all of a sudden, if we were going to revisit stuff that was said in preseason last year, we're like, how are you going to recover from this? Because we don't have faith in Jason Garrett.
Right.
They just had a terrible year, and then all of a sudden, their quarterback's injured again. Somehow we pulled it off into a good year last year, but if we were to erase last year, if we were to say we didn't have that mojo, if we were to say, hey, Tony Romo gets injured, and you know who we actually drafted? We actually managed to draft Paxton freaking Lynch of the 3-8 Denver Broncos, who just got injured this year. Like if that happened to be our quarterback and he doesn't have the it factor and he wasn't able to have one of the best rookie seasons for an NFL quarterback ever last year, then what would last year have been? Maybe last year would have been 9-7.
Right.
Maybe we would have looked okay and then we got out in the playoffs, and it wouldn't have been this perspective of, oh, what could have been. It would have been like, oh, same old story. We were 9-7, we lost in the first round, right?
The Cowboys.
So if we were if we were to take away last year, what does Jason Garrett have? He's got average. People getting upset. Terrible year. He's on the hot seat. And then look at this year.
Right.
Because what does he do this year? All of a sudden, when the wheels come off, and we need somehow in the locker room on the off days there to be a switch happen, and we got a leadership who's going to turn this bad attitude into some positivity. All he is there. He's just on the sidelines clapping, right?
Right.
And he ain't doing bullshit, right? And so we're like, hey, now we have the tape on Dak Prescott. That is an absolutely valid thing. Is that the first few games you don't have the tape on a new quarterback, and he succeeded, and then you're halfway through the season, and teams slowly making a few adjustments to Dak Prescott, but we were still succeeding. And then all of a sudden we got that whole offseason to look at the whole year, and now we're not succeeding. So now we have to make those adjustments, and Jason Garrett's not doing it, Linehan's not doing it, Dak's becoming inaccurate. And so it's like, hey, if we were to take it away last year, let's just pretend like, hey, we caught lightning in a bottle, and we don't give it Jason Garrett all the credit. We say, hey, this was somehow some miracle, Dak and Zeke show, right? And we had a better offensive line last year, but now everything's falling apart again. We got to change. We have to change from the top.
Well, and that's the thing is you can see where, it was clearly playing, not so much coaching, because you got coaches like Bill Belichick and other coaches in the league that can take whatever they're given.
They constantly take, injuries don't derail their season. Right. Free agents losses don't derail their season.
I believe one season the Patriots had a guy not playing due to murder.
Right.
Another guy not playing due to
Richard
injury.
Sherman or whatever happens. Gronk gets injured. Brady gets injured. All this stuff. And Patriots keep on
You
rolling.
look at it at the beginning of the season for the Patriots. You have no Julian Edelman.
Right.
You've got Gronk that you're not for sure what's going to happen. You've got a few other players.
And their defense was so porous.
Their defense, you could just run right up the middle and it was done. But...
And now what are they?
Now they've won 7 straight
wins, and they're going to win the division again. They're going to be in the Super Bowl again.
Right. And so you can't beat it. So we're pretty much at our 2-minute warning. So going forward, Cowboys got what? The Indians? The Redskins?
Yeah, the Redskins are Thursday night coming up.
Right. So we got the Cowboys and Indians playing.
Home game.
We
might turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a good chance with Kirk Cousins.
It's freaking Redskins, right?
Yeah, Redskins usually can beat themselves. But with that being said, a lot of people thought last week with the Chargers was going to be something, but it really wasn't.
Okay, here we got. If the Cowboys lose to the Redskins, is Jason Garrett fired?
I don't think they're going to fire him in the season, but I think he will, unless he can just pull something out, get him into the wild card.
He would basically be a lame duck. I mean, people would just be waiting on him to get fired at that point.
You would basically have to somehow pull something out to get a wild card spot and win the Super Bowl.
We never even mentioned that the Cowboys released Darren McFadden today.
Right.
So he's gone now. And, did you just mute me?
No. I turned the other thing
Just kidding. No, they signed some defensive linemen, and Jason Garrett's talking a good talk about making some changes in the defense, but we're going to see.
So we got another Thursday night game. Yeah. Might actually help them by getting that extra time next week.
Still won't have Zeke.
Still won't have Zeke. We'll still be a few games down, but other than that, so that pretty much brings up the show for us today. So thanks to Two Brothers Bar and Grill for letting us hang out, talk some shit with some people hanging out. It's a really fun place. Nation. It's off Preston Road in Plano, Texas. Come out for a Cowboys game. They got Cowboys watch parties. They do raffles and stuff like that. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. It's all /Drinking with the Boys. Then on Twitter, DRNKNW the Boys. Check us out here on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play.
And Spreaker.
Spreaker, yeah, right here, Spreaker.
Right.
Yeah. So we will have a lot of fun. And until next week, enjoy some more football and talk to us. Draft.com/DWTB also gets you that free entry when you deposit. So until next time, guys, have a good week, and we'll see you next time.
I hope it never ends. I was at my best.